Welcome back aboard the channel. You're watching Sir Boats Yacht, and today we're diving into something timeless, something elegant and absolutely soaked in charm. The St. Louis's Barge is no ordinary boat. It's a floating piece of French history, a symbol of slow travel, indulgent lifestyle and river cruising at its most romantic. If you've ever dreamed of drifting through the canals of Burgundy or sipping wine as you pass sun-drenched vineyards, this is the vessel to take you there. Now let's set the stage. The St. Louis is a classic French hotel barge built on a traditional Dutch hull, and she represents everything that luxury canal cruising stands for. She's not a speed demon, she's a smooth glider. She doesn't overwhelm, she enchants. She's not just a boat, she's an experience. Let's start with her key features. First off, the St. Louis measures in at around 100 feet long, or about 30 meters, which puts her right in that sweet spot for European canals, big enough to offer spacious living areas but compact enough to navigate the most charming narrow waterways. She's a converted Dutch freight barge from the 1920s, lovingly transformed into a high-end floating hotel that offers an incredibly intimate experience with just a few guests on board at a time. That small guest-to-crew ratio is what makes her service feel more like a private yacht than a commercial vessel. Her hull is crafted from sturdy riveted steel, typical of classic barges of her time, but don't let the age fool you. She's been entirely refurbished with modern engineering standards while maintaining her nostalgic character. The exterior is painted in a rich navy blue with white and brass accents, a palette that nods to nautical tradition while radiating quiet sophistication. Her profile is low and elegant, with long uninterrupted lines and large picture windows that flood the interiors with natural light. Let's talk design, because this barge is a masterclass in how to merge vintage spirit with modern luxury. The deck is laid with traditional teak, giving that warm sun-baked aroma you only get with classic wood. Her sundeck is open and inviting, with lounge chairs for sunbathing, alfresco dining areas, and a canopy that offers shade when you need it. It's the kind of place where long lunches blend into lazy afternoons, and where every passing lock is another excuse to pour a glass of wine. The helm station is charmingly old school, with large brass instruments and wooden wheels, but behind those aesthetics lies GPS navigation, bow thrusters and radar tech that ensures safety and precision maneuvering. The captain can glide this beauty through tight locks with just a touch of the controls, but the artistry in the steering makes it feel almost like performance art. Inside is where the St. Louis truly reveals her soul. The interior is styled in a way that can only be described as boutique French countryside hotel meets elegant Parisian apartment. Expect polished hardwood floors, soft ambient lighting, carefully curated art pieces, and an emphasis on comfort and serenity. She can typically accommodate 6 guests across 3 luxurious ensuite cabins, each uniquely decorated with tasteful color palettes, premium linens, and plenty of built-in storage. The cabins are soundproofed to keep the peace of the canals truly peaceful. Each ensuite bathroom is decked out with walk-in showers, marble sinks, and high-end fixtures, giving that spa-like vibe. The cabins may not be huge, but they're cozy, refined, and exceptionally well laid out, making them feel more spacious than they are. Now onto the salon. The central lounge and dining area of the St. Louis is a masterpiece in social design, with panoramic windows, a plush seating area, a grand dining table, and a cozy fireplace. It feels more like a high-end chalet than a boat. This space is where mornings start with croissants and coffee and evenings end with multi-course meals prepared by an onboard chef who could easily run a Michelin-starred kitchen. Yes, that's right, meals aboard the St. Louis are a core part of the experience, with a focus on local ingredients, regional recipes, and impeccable presentation. Dining here is an event, not just a necessity. Whether it's burgundy snails in garlic butter or duck confit with a vintage red, every plate tells a story of the land and culture around you. Wine pairings are equally thoughtful, and the onboard sommelier is always happy to walk you through each selection. Now let's talk about performance. While the St. Louis isn't designed for speed, she is surprisingly nimble. Her cruising speed sits comfortably around 4 to 5 knots, which is ideal for taking in the scenery and minimizing wake. Her twin diesel engines have been modernized to meet environmental standards with low emissions and minimal noise output. She glides rather than roars, and that makes all the difference when you're navigating through tranquil rivers and delicate canal systems. Thanks to her shallow draft, she can access places larger riverboats simply can't. That means remote villages, historic locks, and countryside landscapes that most tourists never get to see. Her propulsion system is quiet and efficient, designed to move smoothly without disturbing the water too much or the wildlife around you. She also has stabilizers and a reinforced hull to ensure a smooth ride even in changing conditions, though most of her cruising is done in sheltered canals or calm river routes. Having that stability adds peace of mind, especially during those longer stretches through open waters. Let's dive into her unique selling points. The first is intimacy. This is not a mega cruise with 2,000 passengers and buffet lines. This is private, intimate, and curated with just a handful of guests and a full professional crew including captain, chef, hostess, and deckhand. You're treated like royalty, not a room number. Then there's her heritage. The St. Louis is more than a boat, she's a living vessel of European waterway history. The fact that she began as a working Dutch barge and now glides through French canals as a luxury experience makes every cruise feel like a continuation of a story that began a century ago. Customization is another highlight. Chartering the St. Louis means the itinerary is flexible. You can visit wineries, cheese farms, art galleries, and even ancient ruins. All stops can be tailored to guest interests, which makes the journey deeply personal. From onshore excursions with local guides to cooking demonstrations on board, this is immersion, not just sightseeing. Comfort is everywhere, and I mean everywhere, from temperature controlled to memory foam mattresses to the gentle lighting design that reduces eye strain during evening reading sessions. No detail has been overlooked. Every corner of the boat has been optimized for comfort and ambiance. And finally, sustainability. The St. Louis may be a vintage vessel, but she's forward-thinking when it comes to her environmental impact. Low-emission engines, onboard water filtration systems, energy-efficient lighting, and locally sourced provisions all contribute to a low ecological footprint. She respects the very waterways she explores, and that kind of consciousness only deepens the experience. So what kind of traveler is this boat for? Honestly, anyone who values depth over speed, leisure over logistics, and charm over chaos. If you're someone who dreams of slow mornings with pastries and poetry or long evenings with wine and stars, the St. Louis is calling your name. As we wrap up this floating love letter to one of the most beautiful barges on Europe's rivers, remember this: the St. Louis isn't just about where she takes you, it's about how she makes you feel along tree-lined canals and under ancient stone bridges, through golden vineyards and sleepy towns. She offers a kind of travel that's rare, unhurried, and unforgettable. Thanks for watching this review on Sir Boats Yacht. If you enjoyed this journey into the heart of luxury river cruising, drop a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories from the world's most fascinating boats. Until next time, keep cruising, keep dreaming, and keep living life at 5 knots.